very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way, that this is a very special day. Early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way, that this is a very special day.
Very special day it is, and it is a terrific Thursday. That
It's our last warm day. It's our last warm day.
Will you hold that? Do you think you really need to say that?
I'm just letting everybody know. Get out, wear your flip-flops, put on your
Look at you.
capris, grab
Well,
a t-shirt.
hang on. Flip-flops are going strong no matter what.
Well, I wear
December,
flip-flops year-round.
January, Autumn Scott Hall will be showing those
I do.
toes.
That's a true story, and I do not wear socks, so don't be giving Autumn Hall toe socks for Christmas.
It's going to
please.
happen. It's going to happen.
No.
I mean, she's going to stay in her flip-flops. So, it's going to happen as far as the flip-flops. So do you make sure your toes are always done?
Yeah, no, they're not done right now. And actually, I have polish
No,
on
I mean,
my
that's
feet and
that's
toes.
my concern. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Is it, when
Becky,
you...
I can't even reach my toes.
Stop. That's not true. You
No,
do...
I do need them done.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just saying, is that something that if I'm going to be, I'm thinking, because around Christmas time, maybe, more reds and stuff in your toes. I'm thinking, or maybe a green and a red, you kind of...
You cannot do green on your toes. That looks like fungus.
No, I have done that. I call them Shrek.
No, Becky, no. No, the only
Oh,
way, no.
I loved them. I did the big lime green in the summer. I love that. And oranges and green.
I love orange, like the coral color is my favorite. But yellows and greens, I know some people can pull them off. I don't have the skin tone to pull them off because I think you have to have a certain skin tone.
Yeah.
I go red. I don't tan very well.
You just stay red. Yeah.
No, when I tan, I go red.
No, I mean...
So I can't wear like green
I thought you meant the color
or
of...
yellow. I do love red on my... And I actually like black too.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, I had black on my nails, and then I took it off, and anyway, and it lingered. Black stays with that. But I think on the toenails, I think I think the greens, like in the summer, I love the lime greens and stuff like that. But now, hang on, now you can go like the emerald green right now with the as you fall.
I
That'd
have
be pretty.
done like a sparkly emerald green, and then it doesn't look like fungus.
And I've seen like almost like a brown, like a brownish for the fall. Mix it, kind of matching the leaves.
I do.
There's so many ways.
Coral on my toes is my favorite. I love coral.
I think, yeah, and I think
in the summer.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're going to do the flip flops, I'm not opposed. I don't judge anybody. You do whatever's comfortable. But I think that would be, to me, that would be making sure that my toes are maintenance.
I'm going to put pedicures on my daily maintenance schedule.
I think so.
Yeah. Right now they're all natural.
Well, you could kind of justify it because you can tell Justin, look, I'm not buying boots and I'm not buying new shoes. I'm just getting pedicures all the time.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So really, you know what I mean? Instead of...
And I'm not steady enough to paint my own toenails.
Well...
Like, I'm not good.
Well, and then you work hard, so a nice pedicure or something, somebody doing that, you know what I mean?
Let's go. Let's just go. Let's go hit it up.
Let's do coffee club. Let's give you a pedicure.
Well,
yeah.
you know who does not.
I know. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I don't have my sheet, but I do know them. Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Celebrity Home Loans, LLC, NMLS, ConsumerAccess.org, NMLS 227765, Equal Housing Lender, Dr. Black Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Fox Burley Wealth Management.
Yay, thank you. I wouldn't even be mad. You got the prettiest coffee cup. You got a Fox coffee cup.
It's my Foxy Lady coffee cup.
It is your Foxy Lady. And honestly, if you leave it here, it will be taken, okay? So do not leave that here. Because
you want it? I have so many coffee cups.
No, I'm over. No, I've got a vinyl record.
I love that one, actually.
Yeah, and it says Rock On. Yeah, and I love it. Yeah, I do. So, no, I'm with you. I have 100. No, I'm just joking, but I do like it.
Thank you. Nicholas wore a Sham Rock and Roll t-shirt today, so that coffee cup went great with the shirt.
Perfect. I love that. Love that. All right, we want to salute the Marines. My father was a Marine. And,
he was a Marine.
And the stories, about him being on Guam, and the stories about, I won't take all coffee club, but it's so awesome to hear, like the experiences, and, that was a lot, they, in their camp, he said they craved snow, and, you didn't have snow and milk. He wanted milk and snow so bad. And I think milk to drink, because he, liked milk, and then the snow just to roll in, because you got the I guess it was just all almost wet, like, just like a swamp, as they ran.
Like the
yes. And like their watchdog, instead of like dogs, they had dogs, but they said that the monkeys were the best watchdogs. But he said they were very dirty. There's a lot. There's just cool stories. It was so fascinating, and you didn't always get him to open up, but when he did, it was like cool stories. Really cool stories. But saluting this 247th birthday of the Marines, and my favorite Marine, of course, Don Martin, my dad. So
there you go.
Yeah, and so we're this is getting ready for Veterans Day tomorrow.
Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and actually, I had the privilege of I was in a first grade class yesterday, and I got to talk to them about veterans, and that was fun. I always like seeing when people realize that, hey, our freedom is not free.
I agree.
And regardless of how you feel about our country as a whole, we have men and women who put their lives on the line and who support and defend fearlessly and selflessly. And I'll go out on them. I don't care what you think about the stats of our country, but by golly, you better honor and respect our veterans, because
absolutely,
they sometimes give the ultimate sacrifice, and that is, that's important, and that's something that we need to be thankful for.
I agree. And so, think of Veteran Today and every day. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I want to throw this out here. There is a difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day, and I see this every year, and every year it is what it is, but Veterans Day is for our men and women who are still living, who have served. Memorial Day is for our men and women who have served, who are no longer with us.
Right.
So there is a difference there.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, you're right.
So Friday, tomorrow, is Veterans Day, and that is for our men and women who are still here. And here's the thing on that as well, Becky. Sometimes these men and women who are back have a lot, like you just said, my dad didn't open up a lot. Well, you know what? There's a lot of men and women who have seen some horrible things.
Oh, yeah.
And so Be kind, be loving, thank them, but sometimes it's not just their physical bodies that get a toll taken off.
You're right. So. Absolutely. Yeah. Very good. And we will be doing the sound system at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
I love that.
I'm so excited. I love being a part of the courtyard, and they do a wonderful job. Andy Bush has taken over, and he's doing a wonderful job, and Sergeant Bateman was previous. He did fantastic, and there's been so many great people that are in that role, and I think and I love the tradition. And this is kind of cool. The Brady Schrum elementary kids will be singing, and see they haven't done that since COVID.
I love that.
So they're going to bring like 50 children, and this is something I think is so cool, because these are memories that you'll never forget.
Right.
You know what I mean? These are like, as children, you're teaching them and learning about Veterans Day and how important, this is. These seeds are being planted, so I'm super excited about that. And And when you hear them sing, I start tearing. I'll tear up just thinking about listening to them sing.
There's something about the innocent voice of a child.
They do.
There's no, they're not putting on a show. They're not. They're singing with their whole hearts.
Yeah.
And you can't beat that.
And learning these songs. I mean, these are songs that'll forever be stuck in their head. You know what I mean? I love that. So that's going to be tomorrow, 11 a.m. It's open to the public. Everyone's invited to come. Also, the Brady Shrum fifth grade class will be presenting Veterans Day program. You are our heroes, and that'll be at 9 a.m. Actually on Friday. Then let's see here. Then also the program will include a variety of patriotic music. Also, all veterans and current members and military members of the community are invited to attend this as we salute our American heroes. So very, very excited. And Andrea Gorman has worked hard on this, and we're super excited too.
She does a great job with it.
She does, yes. So, and I think about, when I was in that age and getting to do things like that. We had a wonderful, our music teacher, Sarah Minor, I talk about her all the time.
Brady Singers.
Absolutely. She was fantastic. She was wonderful. And you could not, I don't think anybody that passed through Brady Shrum Elementary School did not fall in love with our country. I mean, she had you fall in love with our country and learn about,
she took it serious.
Yes.
This was not something to clown around about.
Yes. She took time and she went through, oh, say, can you see?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Remember? And I'll never forget that. And she did the whole, and
I was in high school and I interned with her.
Oh.
And
I'm totally jealous of that.
I interned with her, and there was, I remember her teaching that lesson.
Yes, yeah.
As a junior, senior in high school. I think I was a junior. And 20 years later, because I've almost been, I've been out of school now 20 years. But, I remember that, and the way she would, she was a wonderful storyteller.
Oh, absolutely.
And she would bring it to life and literally transport you there.
Yeah.
And as a little bit older, I can appreciate that. Maybe didn't probably appreciate it as, when you were in her class, maybe as a 4th or 5th grader. But remembering that, amazing. I mean, it sticks with you.
That's funny that, exactly. I had the visual. When she talked about them being in their boats, watching, watching the sparks flying, the fighting, and all of that, and when she talks about all that, I literally saw visual.
She takes you there.
She does, yeah. It was just...
You don't need YouTube for that when you have ceremony.
No.
Your story.
Absolutely.
And she was just passionate about it. And
100%, yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, if she could do... This is what was funny. Here's what we always said. She could take, 1,000 kids and have them in line... No, but also in her program. She had control. She had so much control. She could have those children in lines and all.
I'm going to say this on that, though. I think what that was, she set an expectation for them, and she held them accountable to that expectation. Yeah. And I just don't know that we have that a lot right now.
Well, so you wanted to do good.
Yeah.
You wanted to do good.
Because she expected you to.
Yes, and you knew that.
And she's like, I know you're capable
of
this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No nonsense.
I know, and she got her done, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I do too. We're on to the 10th day of November, autumn. It is Area Code Day.
Listen, I know a lot of area codes.
I bet you do.
I do. Zip codes, too. I know it's not Zip Code Day, but I'm like the Zip Code queen.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
It's a little hidden talent I have. Just in Southern Indiana.
Yeah.
Don't give me but I know lots of codes.
Well, okay, a few years ago I did.
Yeah, I know lots of codes.
I can't remember. But, yeah.
Area codes, and, I think that has helped now that we have to use them to dial out,
Oh, definitely. So we're at 812, but, to the north of us, 317.
317.
And
the south is 502.
502, yeah. So I got that down.
Minnesota's 619.
Okay. I'm from Minnesota. I don't really call Minnesota very often, but good to know that.
Don't ask me why I know that.
You don't know. You don't know. Maybe you sold a house over there, or maybe you did something, or maybe you...
Actually, our corporate office used to be there.
Oh, that's awesome. International Accounting Day.
Listen, kudos to everybody who does accounting. Good for you.
Yeah, that's right. Good for you. They actually love getting in there and doing those numbers and crunching those numbers.
I think it takes a special personality.
Oh, I agree.
A detailed personality.
Yeah.
And I love that because we have detailed people.
Absolutely.
I am not one of those. So.
Yeah.
No.
That is something that I don't think will ever be hanging over my door. She's an accountant.
Yeah, no, I'm not detailed enough.
Yeah, no, I know. And thank goodness for those that are. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
because really, I will say this,
Yeah.
an accountant saved my butt this year, and
Oh.
I'm thankful for it.
Definitely.
Thankful for them.
National Forget-Me-Not Day. Love that. Forget-Me-Not Day.
Okay, so forget-me-not is a flower.
You know that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's a beautiful flower. So my grandmother would always plant flowers for each of us. Like all her kids, all her grandkids. And the forget-me-not was always for my uncle who passed away in 2016. So
Oh,
I
that
am
is precious.
maybe 17.
That is precious.
Yeah. So I do know what a forget-me-not is.
Yeah.
Beautiful blue flower.
Yeah. Very good. A National Vanilla Cupcake Day. You like vanilla cupcakes?
I love vanilla cupcakes when it has a raspberry filling
Uh.
and cream cheese icing with some little white chocolate shavings.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. I have made vanilla cupcakes, and they didn't even make it to the icing. You know, we just started eating them.
We
You know
just
what I mean?
ate vanilla.
Well, we
muffins.
were waiting for them to cool, you know what I mean, and then they're
Yeah.
hot, and you can't beat it when
It's
it's
just a
warm.
muffin at that
Oh,
point in time.
yeah, you know what I mean? But I ain't
Yeah.
even mad, yeah. Sesame Street Day. Who's your favorite character on Sesame Street?
Ooh. Probably Grover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Grover's my spirit.
Well, Elmo would be mine, you know, and I love Elmo, and then, you know, okay, so this is what I used to do with the girls, okay, hang on. Elmo, they had a segment where Elmo would talk about leaving. How your mommy or daddy or grandma, somebody, your parent or, you know, your guardian leaves you,
Yeah.
but they come back.
Yeah,
So-
Daniel Tiger had to come back.
Yeah. So, yeah, he yes. Well, so Elmo did a segment. Okay, so I had a daughter that she wasn't sure that I was going to be coming back.
Yes.
She went through that, and that's
That's
real.
normal.
That's
a very
real.
normal thing.
That's real with children.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now, you know, she might have known my track record. No, I never forgot a child. Okay.
Well,
Anyway, all right.
I may have.
I'm just saying, we are real. We're mothers, right?
I may
We're
have.
doing the best. You know, I mean, how are you doing today? I'm doing the best I can do. You know, I mean, I'm doing my best. So anyway, and so I would have to say to her, you know, like Elmo comes back. You know, so what Elmo would do on Sesame Street, he would run away, like run from the camera, and then he would run back.
Far?
Yeah,
Near. Yeah.
So Elmo goes away, but Elmo comes back.
Yes.
Elmo goes away, Elmo comes back. So I had to do that, you know, and so I did the running, of course. Mommy goes away, but Mommy comes back. Mommy goes away, Mommy comes
love
back.
that.
Yeah. So, you know, and then they get old enough, and then they don't even want you in the scene. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're, well, of course, I don't know. My girls were really pretty cool with that. I think boys are more of that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not.
I told one of my eldest children yesterday, not to drop any names, but I dropped him off, and I was like, okay, love you. And I probably shouldn't have yelled it with all the people out there, but he's like, okay, bye. I was like, listen here, you little punk.
Oh, get this one. So I'm talking to Mr. White on the phone, okay? he said he was really felt so bad. So I said, love you, and he said, see ya. And I was like, what?
I said, well, I almost was like, hey, I said,
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah. So we hung up, and so then I put, see ya? What? And then he goes, I wasn't thinking because somebody had walked up and started talking to him.
Yes.
So you know how when you're on the phone,
Yes.
and you know people come up and they start talking, you're on the phone. So
It's hard.
he was just like, yeah.
His brain was hurting. I love that.
But he making excuses. So now like when he says that, I'll say, see ya.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
But yeah, I was a Grover. You know, did you
Yes.
read the Grover book? The monster at the end of the book.
Oh, I don't
It's my
remember.
favorite book.
I'll have to see that one for sure.
The
Yeah.
monster at the end of the book with lovable fuzzy old Grover.
Maybe I don't remember it. Okay, I will have to look at that.
You'll remember it.
I
You'll be like,
also,
oh, yes.
I've always liked Bert and Ernie. You know, and I like Big Bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Justin loves to count.
Oh, I have to agree. I'm with Justin. Yeah,
And it's because it's a counting day.
3, 4,
And he most definitely is the best to count.
I love that. Yeah, I do that often too. Like
Yeah.
how many? You know, 1, 2,
One.
2.
We're such dorks.
Okay, it's those little things in life.
We're
Okay.
expecting.
All right, this is the United States Marine Day. Yes, we already talked about that. Hats off and happy birthday to them.
Happy birthday
To you.
That on the radio.
World Quality Day.
Ooh, quality of what? Quality of the world?
I
Please
hope-
make
yeah.
the quality of the world better.
I agree. Ooh, World Science Day for Peace and Development. I love that. World Usable Day. Do you make sure that whatever you, like, do you recycle and try to reuse?
Yes.
Well, on TikTok, if you, anybody that watches TikTok, which, you know me, there's a lady, and well, there's several of them, they'll take, like, things that you're going to throw out and reuse them.
Yes.
And she took, like, I thought this was so cool. You know, like the koozies, you know, like, let's say a lot of times you go places.
Yes.
Oh, I have read that. Yes, I do know that book. I'd forgotten that. I'm sorry. Yes, sorry.
Okay.
But she would take, like, a koozie, and she cut off the bottom part of a koozie, and she used them, like, for pot holders, you know, like if you get a hot pot, you know what I mean, like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said,
well,
like,
well, I
you
guess,
know, like,
you could.
you put them on the ends of your, like, if you have a pot, like, if you, let's say you take it off the stove and it has the handles, you use them on the handles to move. I mean, she was just using them for everything. I'm like,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
but I mean,
yeah.
like, it's awesome to recycle. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
that's, you know what I mean, to do.
I think it's important to reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I keep telling myself I'm going to get the recycling bins and put them
Yeah.
out there.
It's a good thing. I'm not that great at it. I
I
mean,
was looking up yesterday, actually. Speaking of recycling, I was researching how to recycle wine corks.
oh, that's cool. What did it come up with? I've seen, like, tables done with them.
Well, I don't want to. No, I don't want to repurpose them. I just want to recycle them, get them out of my house.
Oh, okay.
Because I went through a stage where I thought I was going to do crafts with them.
yeah,
and I was gonna do
there are
like
people
a-
that do.
Yeah, I was going to do like a dartboard.
Wait, now that would be really cool.
That's what I was going to do, is like do a backing
Who
for
stopped you?
our basement and my
Yeah.
time and lack of, I don't know, follow through. But I have a dartboard, and so I was going to do like a frame and do like a cork behind the dartboard so that if you miss the dartboard, it didn't go in the wall.
Yeah, I love that.
That's what
Yeah.
I was going to do, and I'm not.
You buy real darts for your kids.
I mean, yeah, Becky, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
Look at you.
I'm
We
not
always
raising
had.
pussies.
I had those little balls with the Velcro on them. I'm
No,
scared.
we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I love that. Well, there used to be like dart games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking about like on the ground. What was that one where you throw darts like?
Oh, no,
Like,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, and I think they kind of stopped doing that. I think,
Probably because somebody got stake through the
I
heart.
think they did.
I mean,
No, actually, I think their feet. I think their feet got. Yeah, you throw like a dart at your foot. Like it's a. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's horrible aim.
Yeah. So.
Or it's really good aim, one of the two.
One of the two. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So you can actually, because I was at a tour at Huber's one time, and they said, like, if you notice, a lot of wine is going to the screw caps because they have a short, like, I don't know if you know or not, but corks come from, like, a plant. Cork
No, I
tree.
have no idea.
Yes.
I have no
Yes.
knowledge of
So
the
there
cork.
is, like, an actual plant that is a cork plant.
No way. So.
So as cork is becoming more popular for, like, flooring and countertops and things like that.
I am laughing at how many times you're saying cork. Okay, watching you say cork is hilarious. Okay, keep going. I want to hear more.
Anyway.
Don't stop the story. I'm so sorry.
So I thought, well, I have all of these. I wonder if you can recycle them.
Yeah.
And in fact, you can.
Yeah.
But you have to ship them to a place in Texas that does them. And so they'll recycle them. But
So,
you have to pay for it.
How many corks does a cork plant produce?
I
Like,
don't
I mean, is it
I'm not a cork expert.
is it a large crop? So there's actually a plant
I think
that
it's a
looks
cork
like. I
tree.
wonder, like, if it looks a cork tree.
Like they
I bet
they plane the boards and then they punch out the corks. I swear. Unless the winery likes me. This is real news.
Oh, there'd be no line. There's no
This is
line.
real news. I'm
There's
not
no
making it
there's
up.
no crying in baseball. There's no line at Huber's. They're not
So,
lying.
you know, if
Unless they
anybody-
have typically how much wine they
Yeah, look. A cork tree is an Asian tree in the rue family, usually having cork-like bark. So yeah, it is a true.
Get out.
So it might be the bark that they pull off.
That's so cool.
I mean, don't.
Can you imagine how many corks you could get out of one tree? I mean, right?
Yeah, but then if people just throw them away.
So if they recycle them, so then actually they just put them in other bottles, right? That would be recycling.
I don't
Just-
know. I didn't research how they recycle.
I mean, I'm sure you just like.
No, you can't do that because you got to think once you
No.
you pop a cork off of the
A bottle?
bottle, it expands. That's why you have trouble putting it back in. So they can't just wash them and reuse them.
Well, they might, shrink them.
I
like
wonder
maybe
if I don't know.
like what does it take the air out? You know how those bags?
Deflate them.
You know how those
I was talking to a
put
friend
them in
of
those
mine,
bags.
and we thought, well, I wonder if they like melt them down, or not melt them down, but
What?
like wet them down and
Yeah.
mesh them, kind of
That's what I
press
mean.
them.
Oh, I think you could do that. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but you can get, you can get sheets of cork.
I could see them taking.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just saying, I'm not a cork expert. I just
know that if anybody is concerned about it and wants to recycle those, send them to Autumn and she'll send them to Texas.
Or if
it was Texas, right?
Or yeah, it was in Texas. Or if you are one that you do projects with wine corks, call me. I have some.
There you go. I think whoever's taking the air out of your balloon to stop this project, I think because I want to see this project followed through.
It's a lot of
I
work.
really
I'm
think
lazy.
you can do it.
I probably could
you know
do
what I
it.
mean?
It's, do I have the will to do it?
Isn't it funny how like you have all these great ideas, you see this stuff and like you're on, like I'm like that, and then it's like, do I really want to do
And
that?
I think I could make a nice cork mat for my sauna. That would be neat.
I'm going to encourage you. We're going to get this. So would you cut them in half? Do you cut the
Yeah,
pork
I
in
think
half?
you would cut it
Because
in
that'd be
half,
awful tall, right? I mean, if
and
you're
I could use my mandolin for that.
your mandolin, yeah.
Yeah, I could just.
Well, that will, I know, but that'll hurt. You have to resharpen your mandolin.
That's okay.
Okay.
I have a husband. We
Okay,
sharpen
look
both.
at you. Okay, there you
I could- I
go.
don't know. I don't know.
Oh, the places you can go, the
Oh,
things you
the
can
things
do.
you can do.
I love that. No, I did not know that there was a cork shortage, and I didn't know that things are going to be.
Shortage per se.
We don't want to put fake news. So
I don't want to put fake news. Research it yourself. But I do remember them telling me that's why a lot of the wine bottles are going to like the screw caps, because
Little
it
bit.
used to be the screw caps were a sign of like cheap wine.
Right. Oh,
know, like-
yeah.
But now they're saying
Booze.
no. Yeah. Now they're saying no.
Can't
A
beat
lot
it.
of other places are doing that just because of cork issues.
Everybody has issues.
Okay, move on. We're moving on. We've been riding this horse.
I know, this has been, we gotta go onward home. Okay, so they did start over at Walmart, they did start their semi-soft Black Friday shopping. So now, I don't know if Wednesday, if you saw that, they do have the deals.
I tell you,
By little, Autumn Scott
I'm
Hall.
telling you, holidays
little.
are merging faster and faster
Well,
together.
Well, and I know that, but it helps out sometimes on the buying if you have a lot to buy for.
That's true.
You
It
can
helps
do-
with your budget.
It does. You don't have to buy all at once. You can get a few things, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then also, you can, if you want to go ahead and, start getting ready for the holiday, you can. I did see a home, and they went all out for Halloween, and now they're all out for Christmas, and I love it.
Probably my
And
neighbor.
I've been trying to stop. I can't find them out. I don't want to knock on their door because I don't want to say,
You're Becky White. You can do that.
I don't know. I just want to, and I really want to say, I really appreciate this.
You
And
wanna go with
I want,
me?
yeah.
Let's just go.
Yes, I feel like we could bring them cookies and just tell them this made, I love it. You know what I mean? You really made, when I drive by, I really enjoy this.
Yes.
And, you know what I mean?
I do miss that. I remember as a kid, that was almost like a family event. You'd get in the vehicle, you'd drive around.
I
and
still
you'd see
do.
that.
We still do that, yeah.
Well, and we have done that,
Yeah.
but I'm saying I don't feel like as many houses decorate for Christmas that they used to.
Well, I think it's coming back. I think a little bit, during the pandemic, people had a little more time. I think, I don't know,
I
Adam.
say that as somebody who does not decorate my house,
Okay,
so I get
but I
it,
think
but
that, you know what I mean, I like to do that. I get a cup of hot chocolate and,
Yes,
and
and
drive
you can ride
around.
around.
Yeah, I do. I love that. And the school, and I talked to Matt Gorman, and the school's going to do their drive-through again.
Okay, let me just pause you right there and talk about how fantastic Matt Gorman is.
I know. We could do a whole show on just how.
We could. He is so great. Such an asset for Salem communities.
I 100% agree. Everything you're saying,
Yeah,
double.
he's wonderful.
Yeah. And they are going to do, during COVID, so here's the thing. Let me kind of take you back, okay? So, and I don't want to
go back. I want to go back.
I know,
to
I'm not
COVID,
going
Becky.
back. I know, and I know, and I promised that I wasn't going to do this, but okay. So, I wasn't having school. Nobody was having school, you know what I mean?
Right.
And nobody was able to do this, okay? So, the elementary school, Salem Elementary School, the custodian staff, and everybody, I don't want to leave anybody out, got involved, and they did all of these blow-ups, okay?
Yes.
And then at the end, you drive through, and then at the end, you got a library book, okay?
Yes.
So the night before, when everything's like they're putting everything together, and they have it all lit up, I just started bawling. I could cry just thinking about it, because I thought, everybody's hurting so bad. I really started crying because everybody was hurting so
I
bad.
don't have tissues.
I know.
But it,
And
you
then
know,
my nose is going to start right
really though, it is just that simple act of kindness.
on him, it wasn't, not a word was spoken.
Yeah.
Just everybody, showing the school the school was showing the
Yes.
kids, we love you and we're here.
Yes.
We can't be together. Oh, I watched me. I was just like,
Well, and that's the thing, because I'm in and out of the schools, and, even so many wonderful custodians there, and they do an excellent job, and I know some of them by name, and that's great, but even just seeing as Matt walks down, the kids genuinely love him.
Yes, and
Like, run up to hug him, and, hey, Mr. Matt, and just, I love that.
I do too.
I love that.
I agree. Experts, which I'm not, we don't claim to be experts, but here's the thing in this field, but like they say that every child, they need to have that solid, they need to have that person that is always there, and that consistency, and when teachers and school corporations couldn't be that, they couldn't be that to the children.
Way to still
To
let
show
them
them,
know.
they're showing the children, we love you,
Yeah.
and you're still in our hearts and our minds.
Yeah.
And so I just broke down in that parking lot.
Yeah.
And as you can see, because I thought it was just like a warm hug that we needed.
And it's to let them know, hey, we still love you.
Yes, and so
we have not forgotten
right.
you.
So then when that night, teachers came out, and everybody had to social distance,
Right.
and they had their mask on, but the teachers, so the kids, they rolled down the windows, the parents did, and
Yes.
the children were in the cars, and the teachers were saying, we miss you.
Yeah.
We can't wait to see you, can't wait to get back. And the kids were just going crazy how much they love these children, how much they love these teachers, seeing them. And then at the end, they got a book. You know what I mean? And it just, and everything was done safely, everything, it was just...
Well, and that's part of it being community. That's part of, we talk about having a family in the classroom, and this is our family culture, and this is, but that's the extra step that actually shows it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's...
Yeah, it was just fantastic. I think that'll be, it was just wonderful. It was beautiful. So I'm sorry that I got on that, but I'll pull myself together. But anyway, they're going to...
Get yourself together.
I'm trying.
Pull yourself together.
You have to slap me over here. Get yourself together, Becky. So anyway, but then so they're going to do that again.
Yeah.
And so I don't know to the degree it'll be a little different.
Right.
You know
Don't
what I mean?
know all the details,
but we'll get. But Matt said it's on. Game on.
tuned.
Game on, and we will. Yes, Autumn and I
Because
will.
here's the deal, you're going to have to ante the ante. I don't gamble, but,
Yeah.
let's
Well, talking about that, the big Powerball. It was one person won it. I don't play the lottery. I don't play it, but one person won it. Can you imagine? And I hope that person...
Listen, if it is ever in the Lord's plan for me to win the lottery, I will take that burden.
Yeah, I just want to say, okay, so, let me get this right here. Okay, I think it was...
It was somebody in California, and there's actually a lot of controversy around that because there was an issue with the drawing that night, and then they announced the next morning that no one won, and then they came and said, oh no, there was only one winner.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of controversy around that.
Yeah. I'm not going to be a part of it. I don't, but, I think it's just because I'm too tired.
Too tired.
No, not tired, tight.
Oh.
Maybe tired.
I tell you what,
I know.
I'm done.
Okay.
Move on,
All right.
Becky.
Okay, so it looks like this. It looks like from Kentucky to Indiana, and I don't know that all of the McDonald's are participating, but they're offering free breakfast for veterans.
I love that.
I do too. Hats off. I love McDonald's, So McRib is back, okay? All right. Now, I'm a huge McDonald's, okay?
I love that.
But anyway, so we've not had it. We've had Big Macs and we've had chicken nuggets, but we've not had the McRib just because I don't know. So on election day, okay? Now hang on, I'm like
Tuesday.
Yes, so I'm like going to be talking to people and stuff, okay? Husband, which I love this. I'm not knocking because I'm very appreciative of him.
Yeah.
But especially when you're really hungry, and when that cavalry comes in with food, he brings a McRib. Yes. Not nuggets that might be a little more neater. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
he
if
brings.
do it right.
That's exactly right. So I had sauce from one end of my face to the other end. You know what I mean? And I wasn't even mad. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't be.
No, and they just sauced that up, that sandwich, and I'm telling you right now, It just, it,
Like, I know there is a cult following on Mystic Ribs.
well, and I don't even know, and I'm going to be a part of that. I don't even know if I even put teeth marks in it. I was so hungry, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I don't even know, you know what I mean? It was just so good. And it was all over the face, but, you know what I mean?
So you just wipe it with your sleeve?
That's exactly right. And go on, onward home. There we go. But I wasn't even mad. But I do want to say it was just hilarious.
I wish I would have had a picture.
Yeah, but of all, you know what I mean, of all, you know, of all days.
You could have brought me some French fries and chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets, yeah. Because the nuggets would have been a little easier. But you know what?
But would it have been as much fun?
Oh, no. He knew. He was like, he was doing good. You know what I mean? He knew. I'm gonna do her a solid. And he did. You know what I mean? I wasn't mad.
Listen, happy wife, happy
That's
life.
right.
It's funny, that's what my husband says, and I'm like, you know, it's really happy spouse, happy house, but I mean,
love that.
You can't get mad at me because you spoil me and then I'm spoiled. Like,
Yeah, I know.
That's not fair.
We can't go back.
Like,
You've
it's really, you created this monster. It's your fault.
Exactly. It's so true, so true. All right, 78% of Americans will do Christmas shopping on Craigslist this year. Really?
On Craigslist, you know, I've never even got on Craigslist.
Okay, all right.
I don't know who Craig is, and I don't know what his list is about.
Okay, well, let's see what the survey says, okay? A new survey, 78% of Americans say that they're looking to save money this holiday season for purchasing pre-owned gifts and not vintage collectibles or refurbished, just pre-owned.
Give me your old junk. Listen, I'm not against that.
I'm not either. These people are reportedly hitting up sites that offer up Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and eBay to get cheaper, lightly used stuff. 75% of Americans say giving pre-owned gifts has become more socially acceptable. 86% say they are likely to buy used gifts, and at least they price check a gift on resale on websites before buying new at retail.
I will say this. I don't get mad when people re-gift things.
Well, you and I do that.
I will re-gift.
We've done that, haven't
yes.
we? Or I know
yes,
I did. Or you for me, I was Victoria's Secret stuff. Or
yes, yes, I will re-gift things. It's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. Because you can only do so much, and there are some things people have
robes,
the best
blankets.
intention. The best intention of things. And sometimes it's not even I don't like this. It's I'm not going to use this.
Yeah.
I just regifted something, and like, I think this is, it's funny because I was thinking this yesterday. I was over at a friend's house, and she gave me a couple of things. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to use that. But I know somebody who will. So yes, I will take it. And
Yeah,
get, you know,
absolutely.
like, I'm kind of the person that I'm like, I don't care if it's a regift. You thought of me, and that makes me feel special.
Oh, I agree.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm all for it. Let's buy gently used. Let's regift. Let's be good with our money.
Right. Well, and sometimes if you look at, like, it'll be like you'll get it cheaper. Like sometimes the packaging is just not, you know what I mean, maybe a little bit,
Yes.
you know.
And those pallet stores, you know, we have whole stores that buy pallets, and they're just like that.
Yeah, and so and nobody can. My group has it. I mean, they rip, tear, and shred. You know, they don't care.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't even mind offering stuff.
Oh,
Give me all the
goodness,
offering
no,
stuff.
I know. Yeah. And I think, honestly, like, if you had somebody that, like you know, the antiques or, like, the collectibles and stuff, like, to get cool vases and maybe, I'm trying to think of all the different things, like, candle holders. I mean, like, there's cool things.
Yes, and you
know,
can go to, like,
quilts.
flea markets.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm all for
I
it.
ain't even mad.
No, speaking of money, though, that's what I was going to talk about today.
Oh, my goodness. Go Autumn, yes.
So, I mean, we are in the Christmas season. As much as that means to say already, it means the end of the year is coming. Another year older.
See, you know, I'm happy about it. I'm over here smiling, and you're like,
I'm not angry. I'm not upset with it. I mean, I feel like growing older is a privilege some people don't get. So.
That is, you're 100% right.
So thankful for every day. But I do want to talk about, because I am here this day for Celebrity Home Loans.
Yes.
And as we're talking about money and saving money, and, you know, for holidays or house shopping or new cars or whatever it is that you want to save money, I want to talk about, as you are buying a home, a realistic view of what you are going to have out of pocket. Because sometimes that is not I have found that people get very surprised when it's like, well, you have to pay for this. Well, you need to pay for this. Well, this is what you're bringing to closing. This is so. That was something I was going to segue into. If we're ready for that,
I'm ready. Absolutely, let's jump
talk.
in.
So,
no, I'd love to talk about that because this is a good topic.
Yes, and realistically, you know, my whole thing is I try to be very transparent.
Oh, you are. I was going to say 100%.
I don't want any surprises.
Right.
You need, because here it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You need to know what you're getting into, and if you don't like it, then you need to reevaluate whether you're ready to buy a home or not.
That's true.
And there's a part of me that is like, I'm not going to force you, and I'm not going to be mad.
But don't you feel like most people love that honesty? I mean,
I don't know. Some people don't.
Well, I think I
some
would
people
much
get
rather.
very mad, and that's okay.
But you're being honest with them. I would be more upset if you didn't tell, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I don't want any surprises at closing.
No.
And that's why we
Nobody wants that.
10,000 loan estimates.
Well, in closing, you want it to be a happy time.
Yeah.
You don't want
you're closing a house.
Yeah.
You're
which everybody's nervous anyway.
yes.
And there's a lot of nervous, and you don't want anything to upset that.
And here's the thing. So, I mean, when we talk about closing costs, and yes, your seller can give a credit towards your closing costs, but what people don't realize is it's only a certain percentage. And I have gotten purchase agreements that have said, oh, seller to pay all closing costs. Well, you can't do that. Like, you have to give me a number or a percent. You can't just say, oh, they pay it all, because that's not how it works. We have gotten things, and this is very important. Please talk, you know, if you're making an offer and you're working with a realtor, talk with them, because I have gotten purchase agreements that have said buyer and seller are splitting the closing fee, and that's the only thing. And then I'm showing numbers to them, and they're like, oh, no, the seller's paying half of the closing. No, the seller's paying half of the closing fee with the title company. They're not paying half your closing costs. And that, I have seen that as we have some realtors that are new and are jumping in. Maybe they don't even understand that. So then I have buyers who are like, well, I'm bringing more money than I thought because now I have to pay my own closing costs. Well, yeah, but I'm not a realtor. I don't do the purchase agreement. Like we talked about them asking. So I just want to clear some of that, okay? Closing costs are a little bit higher right now because interest rates are costing at a discount. That means you're paying for your interest rate. I'm paying for your interest rate, and usually I split that with the borrower because I know that it's ugly right now. But that is a discount that is for your interest rate, and what I do tell people, that does not go through my pocket. I'm not making that money. So that's not an additional fee that is coming to my office. That's what I'm being charged to lock your rate. Our fees are set fees. My fees are $15.90. That's what I charge to do a loan. That takes care of my processor, my underwriter, my corporate fees, my overhead, that's what does come to me. Then I have a credit report fee. That's $89. Credit reports are not cheap. And that's why when people call and say, oh, well, can you just pull my credit? I will if you're interested in purchasing a home. But I have had people call me and say, I just want to know my credit score. Well, then you need to get on Credit Karma because I can't charge you for a credit report unless I close a loan. And I'm not going to pull your credit if you're not interested in actually looking or buying.
Because you would be out that $89.
I have to. My credit report bill every month is close to $800-900.
Oh wow!
If not more. Depending on the season, it's a little bit lower in the winter just because people don't look as much. But yes, I have to pay $89 per credit report. Oh, wow. That is what I pay. I send a bill every month to Advantage Credit.
Oh gosh!
And so people don't realize that. They're like, well, it's free. No, it's not. No. Nothing's free.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing's free.
Yeah.
So those are fees that come back to my office directly. Okay. But then you have title fees. And title fees can run anywhere from $1,100 to $1,300, depending on your loan amount, because you have owner and lender's title insurance, and those are dependent on your loan amount. So I've seen title fees up to $1,500-1,600, and that's you are paying the title company to do a search on the property, and they go back 30 years to make sure there are no liens or judgments or anything like that against the seller or the buyer. We pay them to do the closing. They're the ones who distribute all the cash and pay everything off. Like, I don't do that. My office doesn't do that. It is they are our unaffiliated third party. They're the ones that are responsible for all the finances because it helps cut down on fraud.
Right.
You have somebody that I mean, yeah, they want your loan to close too, but they're not going to do something illegal to close your loan.
Right.
They're another protection step. So when we talk about closing costs, that's what I'm talking about. My fees, title fees, the appraisal, which, by the way, 90% of the time you are paying for the appraisal up front, and that can be up to $550.
Oh, wow. Now, is that the homeowner that pays that, or is that the...
That is the
person?
buyer that pays that, because you're the one obtaining the loan. So, yes, that is a buyer fee.
So, really, the appraiser is kind of working for the buyer.
Yes, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, when it comes down to me ordering an appraisal, I don't even know who the appraiser is until I get the report. It is on a third-party platform.
Okay.
Because, again, that is a method to prevent anything fraudulent happening, that now appraisals are ordered on a platform, and it's like a roulette. So there's like 5 or 6 or 7 appraisers in this area, and whoever is next in line, or whoever is, it's like a random draw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the appraiser is, and actually I've had people who've called me and said, well, when's my appraiser? Or when's my appraisal? Well, I don't know. Like, I can tell you when I asked for it to be back to me, but the appraisal company then contacts the realtor, the listing agent, to schedule a time to go see the home. So it's like, they'll know, and then sometimes they will say, oh, hey, the appraiser called me at so-and-so, they'll be here whenever.
Right.
And then I do know, but it's like, I have no influence whatsoever on that. But here's the thing, your appraiser wants to be paid whether your loan closes or not.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
they did their work. They did their work.
So that's why I require that to be paid up front, because if something happens and you don't close your loan, guess who gets stuck with that bill if it's not paid?
Oh, really?
Me.
Do you? Oh.
And I don't bill, like, if we're going through a loan process and it doesn't close, you're not getting a bill from me. I'm not saying, well, I worked on your loan for 3 weeks, so now you owe me X amount of money.
Right.
No, I eat all that. So you have an upfront fee of an appraisal of $550. Plan on it. I tell people, plan on at least $1,000 out of pocket regardless. Because you're probably going to want a home inspection. And I don't require those. I don't know anything about, like, I really don't know anything about those because I don't require them. I don't necessarily want to see them. But I encourage them because you need to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
And your home inspector, I believe, charges per square footage. So those can be anywhere from $300 to $600 depending on the size of the house. And then, if you are buying a manufactured home, then you have to have a foundation inspection to make sure the home has been set properly. That's $350 usually. And that is something you are paying as a buyer because I'm requiring it as your lender, which really it's not me requiring it, it's your loan program requiring it. So right there on a manufactured home, between your appraisal and your engineer inspection, there's $900. You're looking at $1,000 anyway.
Yeah.
So those are actually your closing costs. But you also have prepaids. This is not actually things that you pay in order to obtain the loan. They are actually items that you pay to protect you as a homeowner. Your homeowner's insurance, like that's going to your homeowner insurance company, and I'm going to require you to have a whole year paid at closing.
Well, and the homeowner's insurance will be happy to see those inspections and those appraisals.
Sometimes they do ask me for them.
I'm sure that they are happy to see those being done.
Yeah. So you will pay for full your homeowner's insurance. And then if you are escrowed, which the majority of people are escrowed because you're doing a government loan, and government loans require it, and even conventional loans require it unless you have 20% down. So I can't help that you're escrowed. That's just a standard that the industry requires. Because if you lose your home in a fire or you don't pay your property taxes, then those two things actually can override my mortgage, because the county, if you don't pay your property taxes for 3 installments, then guess what? They're going to a tax sale. And the county doesn't care that you have a mortgage. Technically, it overrides me.
Right.
if your house burns down and you don't have homeowner's insurance, there's really a good possibility you're not going to make your mortgage payment anymore because you don't have a home.
Right.
To protect myself, I'm going to make sure that you have your taxes and insurance taken care of. And people get upset with that, but if that's the case, then pay cash or put 20% down.
Right.
Like, take some of the risk away from me. But when you're asking me for a 100% loan or a 95% loan, then I'm going to have a couple things in place to make sure that I'm not going to take a loss.
Right.
So we will set up your escrow account. We will set up your homeowner's insurance to be paid at closing, and then depending on the day you close, and this can be expensive depending on your house value, but I collect interest from the day we close and fund until the first of the next month. So like I just closed the loan yesterday. Guess what? I collected interest from November 9th to December 1st. That's 21 days of interest. That was over $1,000 for them.
Oh, wow.
But they don't have a payment till January.
Okay.
Okay? But again, that adds up depending on the day you close. So those items, your escrow setups, your homeowner's insurance, your per diem interest, those are not closing costs. Those are considered prepaids. Okay? So it used to be that we could get by with probably $3,500 in closing costs and prepaids from your seller credit. Now, it's a little bit more because you're paying a discount. So a lot of times, people will ask the seller to contribute closing costs, give a credit.
Right, right.
And so if that's the case, great. That comes off of what you bring to closing, and ideally, the two will balance out, and then you don't have to bring anything but your down payment, but that doesn't always happen.
Right.
That's why I try to let you know everything up front. We balance everything up front. But what you do have to bring to closing, and this, I just had a situation just this week that there was some confusion. Your down payment amount, that is considered a minimum required investment. So for FHA, it's 3.5% down. For conventional, if we do a first time home buyers program, a home ready, a home possible, it's 3%. For typical conventional, it's 5%. You have to bring that money. That is your down payment. The seller cannot give that to you. The seller cannot pay your down payment. Like, that's your minimum required investment. And so I had a situation where the down payment was 3.5%, ended up being like $6,200. Well, the seller gave $7,000 towards credit closing, like closing costs. And I remember, like, I'm kind of jumping in this, but I'm like, that's a lot of closing costs, but okay. I mean, we'll probably use it because of the discount and all of that, and the loan amount's a little higher. And the realtor said, well, I asked for $7,000 in closing, so they'd only have to bring about $2,000. I was like, their down payment minimum is $6,200. Oh yeah, but we got $7,000 in closing costs. You can't. Your seller cannot give closing costs. Here's what happens in that situation. In the event that I have too much closing costs, I lower seller paid credit. I cannot take that and say, oh, it's going to be paid towards the down payment, so now instead of you bringing $6,000, you only have to bring $2,000. No, you still have to bring $6,000. Like, you still have to bring your minimum required amount for your down payment. And so that's a lot of things that sometimes people don't understand. That, right. Well, but I have enough credit. Yeah, but that's for your closing costs and prepaids. That's different than your down payment.
Right.
Like, those are two different categories.
Yeah.
And that, like, a situation like that is something that, if that even made it to closing, right, and we funded, guess what? That's going to be thrown back to me, and I'm going to have to buy that back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I really appreciate this up front, and I think okay, what you just said is very, let's just go over this. For us that do not know this, it gets really confusing.
It does, because it is confusing, and it's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I think,
that's why I hate, honestly, I love the convenience of electronically signing things, but I really hate that now we have a generation of people who want to do everything electronically, and they don't want to come in and meet, and then they get confused when they see numbers.
Well,
because it is it is confusing.
Yeah.
100%. Becky, if I handed you the papers they're looking at, you're going to be thinking, because let's be honest, I've been doing this 16 years, and sometimes I still look at it, I'm like, what the heck? Like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
is
yeah.
this?
I'm not even buying a home, but you just made me nervous.
Yeah, like it can be very confusing, and honestly, that's why I like people to come in.
No,
and
that's
I
what I'm
sit
saying.
With you, and
That's
I'm
what I
like,
mean. I would be like, I really want you on my side. I really
Yeah.
want you to go to bat for me because. And then here's the thing too. Right now we are actually, we're doing a radio program here.
Yeah.
But if you and I were sitting at a desk, and I stopped you at these different segments and said, go on and explain this a little bit. I mean, right now we're giving surface, we're doing that.
Yes.
But you would take that detail and explain it, and then I would feel much better.
Yes,
You know
and
what I'm
here's the thing. There have been times that I have sat and gone through with buyers.
Yes.
And here's the other thing people don't realize. Now, I do want to throw this out there. I don't do those disclosures. As a matter of fact, sometimes my loan estimates and closing disclosures go out. I don't even see them until you sign them and they come back to me, because it's done through a disclosure department, because there is so many red tape, compliance hoops to jump through that at the end of the day, they don't trust loan officers to do it, because let's be honest, loan officers usually aren't the most detailed people, and they're just doing the next thing to get stuff done. They are a big picture person. They're not a minor detail person. And so in the past, there's been a lot of issues. I'm kind of a control freak, so I probably could do it.
But I think just, because you're the one I know, I think just the opposite. I think you are into detail. I think you are attention to detail.
I am, because I'm a control freak. But the majority of loan officers, really, I mean,
No,
I'm being honest.
I want that. I want you to be that person
But-
when I'm sitting across the
I
desk
can
from you.
explain it to you, because honestly,
No.
every loan officer should be able to explain it to you, and if they can't explain it to you, then they need to find out why.
Yeah.
Because there have been times I've looked at things, and there have been things added. Like, prime example, our recording fee is always over disclosed. Always. They show 140 every time. Every time. So I have to then say, hey, this is a little over disclosed. It's actually 120, because Indiana now has set state recording fees. So it's actually 120, but I have no tolerance on that. So they cushion it, because if that even goes up $1, I'm out of compliance and I have to pay the difference. So they cushion it for me. But I have seen where, okay, wait a minute, I've seen fees that I'm like, I don't even know why this is on here, because it's not applicable.
Mm-hmm.
But they're being safe
Right.
instead of sorry. And that's the other thing. On manufactured homes, I get this all the time. Manufactured homes, I'm going to disclose an engineer inspection, even if it's a conventional loan. I'm going to disclose that. I'm going to disclose an IBTS report, because I don't have an appraisal back yet.
Mm-hmm.
And what an IBTS report is it is the Indiana Transportation Bureau. I don't know, I probably messed that up. But a manufactured home has 2 HUD tags on the outside and a data sheet on the inside. I cannot close without those. So if that property is missing those, I have to order them. Now, my hope is I get the appraisal back, it's on there, I remove that fee. But I have to disclose it to you, because there's a possibility that I'll need to order it.
Mm-hmm.
That is a buyer fee, that is not a seller fee. Which really, I think it should be a seller fee, but they don't let me make those decisions. So that's the thing, but I don't even see, like, I had somebody call me the other day, it's like, well, I'm looking at my closing disclosure. Yeah, I don't get a copy of that until you sign it and it gets put into my system, because I'm not the one who generates it. My processor does that, or the closing department does that. So I can show you what I'm seeing on mine, but I don't actually see what you're looking at until you sign it and it comes back to me, unless you want to come in and we'll print it off of your email. So that's the other thing, and that is part of the business I really don't like. I feel like if you're sending something to my buyer, I need to see it.
Right.
You know, and so
Yeah.
thankfully my processor knows, if you're sending something to my buyer, you better let me know so I can see it in case there are questions.
Well, sure.
Because I like to be involved. I like to...
But I like that you want to be involved.
Yes, and
that's
I
a good thing.
appreciate the fact that I have buyers, you know, who do read it. Because sometimes when you're e-sign, it's really easy just to look that.
Yeah.
And I have one buyer, he does look at it. He wants to know, and I
Yeah.
love that. Yes,
Yeah.
please know what you're doing.
And that's what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
So, that's the thing. It is, we're in a season right now where it is expensive to buy a home. 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 3 years ago, we were doing your SBA loans all day. You weren't even bringing money to closing. Still had to pay your appraisal. But you weren't bringing money to closing. Like, I had a lot of closings that you came, you brought your ID, that's all I needed from you. And that's great. And those are great times. We're not in those times right now. So just be prepared. Come talk to us. Know what you're getting into.
Right.
And have grace, because you know what, we're human too, and sometimes we do miss things. But like, we have one, I'm not an insurance agent, I know we're out of time, I'm going to wrap with this, I'm not an insurance agent, we have great insurance agents in this community that are wonderful. I can only guess my best based on what I see.
Right.
I never estimate over $100 a month on your insurance, because that's a good average. But you know what, if I get a quote that your insurance is $2,300 a year, my numbers are off.
Right.
I was wrong.
Right.
Because I'm not an insurance agent. And so, like, that's when we meet, I disclose that to you.
Right.
And that's why I tell people, go get an insurance quote. Bring an insurance quote to me with your purchase agreement so I have accurate numbers for you.
Sure.
Because otherwise I'm guessing. If you have a property that right now does not have property taxes on it because there's so many exemptions, guess what? I'm guessing because I'm not an auditor. So there are things that I do guess on because I don't know, but I let you know that up front.
Right.
So when you do give me a $2,400 insurance quote, well, here's why I was wrong. And that's not my fault, because I have to go by what you give me. It's your choice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think it just, boils down to there's so much that goes involved in it. And,
so many
and I saw on social media the other day, someone had got a paper and it said, loan denied. It was stamped or whatever. And I thought, that's something that if they didn't take time to explain that to the person or in detail, these are things that, obviously, this is not easy.
No.
Okay, but it's doable. I do want to say it's doable. And for those that do have that, okay, let's say that your journey had you buying a house soon, and you found a house you did want, but, and let's say it is doable. People are doing it still.
Oh yeah, I'm still closing loans. I just closed one yesterday. I'm closing one Monday. I have another one closing next week. We are, as a note, we are closed tomorrow in observation Veterans Day, so I will not be in the office tomorrow. But we are still closing loans. It is still happening.
Yeah. And that's what I want to make sure. And then also, speaking of for Veterans Day, there are special loans.
We have VA loans.
And I love that.
I mean, VA is its own department. We do have VA loans. They don't require a down payment. You can put a down payment if you'd like. If you have a service-related injury, you probably don't even have a funding fee. You're probably exempt from that. VA loans do not have mortgage insurance at all. Doesn't matter. You don't have mortgage insurance.
There you go.
And if you're exempt, you don't even have a funding fee. So that is, we are still closing loans. I don't want people to think, it's a horrible time to buy. It's not as good of a time to buy as it was back in, February. But here's the nice thing: if rates do go down, you can always refinance.
Yeah, and
6 payments. You have to make 6 payments. Please keep that in mind. You have to make 6 payments, but then you can refinance, and there's no penalty for that.
Right. And I just think if you kind of had it like, this is what we're gonna do, and this is what we're planning on doing, then go ahead.
Well, and I was talking to one the other day, and crazy situation, awful situation, really. Bankruptcy less than 2 years out, but she had enough money down. She had money down. So I'm like, listen, I can do your loan, but here's what you're looking at. You're looking at 30% down. You're looking at paying almost $7,000 for your interest rate, and because I can't do that in-house, I can't credit you that. You're paying for that, and then you're going to have to make that your interest rate. I think her interest rate was 11.5, and you're paying $8,000 for that. 11.5. So it's like, you know what? Really, if you're okay to wait 6 months when that bankruptcy is 2 years out, let's wait, because I can do what you want to do. And I've had this conversation before, and I've talked about this before. I can do what you want to do. But if what you want to do is not in your best interest, I don't want to do it. Because I have to lay my head down at night and sleep without stress. And without guilt and without... Now, if you still want to do it, and I've told you it's not in your best interest, and you still choose to do it, I'm guilt-free. I'll do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing anything wrong.
Right.
Like, legally, I'm
Right.
doing everything right.
Right.
You are aware of it. If you choose to move forward, that is on you. And I will do it. But if you can wait, or if you can, if we can just change a couple things and you can hold on, it's really in your best interest. And I'm not greedy. So I'm not going to fight and kick to do a loan right now if it's not in your best interest.
I love that. Yeah.
I'm not. I do have a conscience.
Yeah.
I do,
You do live in this community.
I live in this community, and I do see the people at the Walmart and the park and the sporting events, and I do.
I know, and you work very hard at that. Yeah, I'm very proud of you on that. Yeah, definitely.
It is what it is, but we're over time.
I know.
I'm sorry. You know who else I'm proud of?
Yes.
Our coffee club sponsors. Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Select.
Radio's Dream Team. Rick Burgess, Bill Bubba Bussey, Calvin Speedy Wilbur, Sophie Ray Burgess, Helmsy, and Eddie Van Adler.
6 minutes past the hour from the No Name Studio on the bleeding edge of technology from Sweet Home, Alabama to the world. We're all here, as you heard. All right, so Chris, standing by, the question was asked by Casey in Nashville. For the GOP and the midterm elections, not being the red tsunami that some had hoped for and some even predicted, some are pointing to Trump as the reason why that did not happen, even some calling him Toxic Trump. I
don't buy that.
Yeah, GOP senior executives, or what do you call them, senior GOP figures, I guess is a better word, they're saying that he sabotaged the red tsunami, and it would have happened if he had stayed on the sidelines and stayed out of it. I'm not sure I agree with that.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, but anyway, this is what spawned that call from Casey. I thought, laid it out pretty balanced. Chris says we've missed it.
Chris, straighten us out.
Yeah, Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey, big boys.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on? Okay, so I really think that y'all would probably agree with me, but y'all just really can't say it. And, most people can't really, get this or understand this either, or just don't want to hear it. But, Gerard Rich, there was the election fraud that was never prosecuted, or nobody went to jail for the election fraud in 2020. And we all know something's going on. And the election was stolen. We know, just can't say it.
Chris, hold on just a second, because I want you to
agree with me.
Chris, we can't understand your phone.
Chris,
I'm trying to help you out. If you will hush for half a second. Your phone is cutting in and out. Get in a better location so we can hear you.
Yeah,
that's all I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, we couldn't even hear anything you said. Yeah, you were not. We could not understand you because your cell is so bad. That's all Bubba was trying to tell you.
You've got plenty of time. Slow down. Nobody's rushing you. Nobody's cutting you off.
Yeah.
We just want to hear you.
All right, so Chris.
There should have been a tsunami.
Okay.
There should have been, the same people in power, this small group of people who have a lot of control, is not going to let a tsunami happen. They're just going to make sure that just maybe a little bit. Maybe we'll get it back to an even 50-50 in the House and Senate, and we'll power share. I mean, in the state of Alabama, there'll never be an election like a voter fraud or election problem because so many Republicans. We overwhelm the fraud. We overwhelm the fraud. There's no way it could happen in Alabama. So I feel like that the same people that stole the election in 2020, and really, guys, think of it. Has there ever been anybody held accountable or any of the companies that oversee the servers?
Chris, thanks for calling. I thought he was actually going to have a discussion about the two different candidates.
I wanted to ask him a question about who this bunch was.
Yeah.
Who is the cabal?
Well,
As far as
I can just tell you,
It's
Chris,
Trump.
and Chris, I certainly understand conspiracy theories, and I understand that mindset. That really wasn't the conversation we're having, because if we're going to go down the road you've gone down, it's all hopeless.
Yeah,
It
we
doesn't even matter. I mean,
we set a preface on that discussion that the election was at least fair, and if there was corruption and cheating, it wasn't enough to change the outcome.
Yeah, or it just couldn't be proven. It might have been enough to change the
right.
outcome, but no one's been able to prove it. So
Here is the fact: no prosecutable evidence.
Yeah, we can't have who's the better candidate. Is Donald Trump toxic for the GOP, or is he the right thing for the GOP in this next election? If we throw in, it doesn't matter anyway, because there's these unnamed forces that are in dark rooms, and they're controlling the government, and they're controlling the balance of power. So no matter what we do, there's states that are so corrupt, it's never going to change. Well, I mean, and what you're saying, it might be true, but you see, that's kind of an impossible task for you, Bubba and I, to discuss Trump or DeSantis. If that's hanging over us, well, our conversation about that really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so Bubba laid out, and I agree with him, that probably the best way forward for the GOP is to get on the same page. Trump, certainly, with all his problems, gave us a country that was stronger, an economy that was stronger, and personality-wise, he was not a lot of fun.
Well, he was a bulldog.
Yeah, and I don't think he's a great communicator. I will tell you this, DeSantis basically says the same things that Trump says, he just says them better. And is a better communicator, and is not as divisive, and really often arrogant as Trump, and it comes across as he's a passionate person who wants people to be free and wants the government to be where they're supposed to be, and Trump certainly has that same view, but just the way he carries it out causes some problems that DeSantis would not cause. But Bubba made the point clearly, DeSantis has got his time coming if he wants it, but it probably isn't now. This is probably Trump's one more shot, and then DeSantis will get it next.
So I can understand why that caller feels the way he feels.
Sure.
This past election, every person that lives and breathes this political stuff was predicting that red tsunami. They were predicting that even Hochul in New York could potentially go down. Every single person was expecting that to happen. Even the Democrats. You could see where a lot of lefty people in the media were preparing to turn on Biden after these midterms to make sure that he did not run again. Now, because that red wave did not happen, Biden's in. Unless he can't walk,
Yep.
The dude is running again. So we're now in that position. So I understand where the caller's coming from, because it's like, how could this have happened? I guess people aren't hurting bad enough to not vote for the people they're still in. I guess abortion rang a lot more strong than we thought, than a lot of people thought. So, I mean, I'm not saying what he was saying is correct,
No.
but I was surprised too.
Well,
and
think
it's
about
just-
this, Eddie. I think a lot of people are forgetting when there was talk of a red wave. This was at the very peak of the gas situation, all of this. As it got closer to the election, and you started looking at the polling data, all these races were very close. All of them very close. The lady in New York has been ahead of her challenger the whole time. I didn't really expect a red wave the last few months, because you saw the passion die down, and some of the Republicans closed the gap. But for it to be a red wave, they got to be up 5 and 6 points in the polls before you ever get to election day.
That's where I was. I believed it early on. I thought I saw that waning. As a matter of fact, I have to give credit to Hannity. I did not watch and listen to Hannity that much, so I didn't know what he was saying. But last night, I looked over to get an update, and he played clips of himself in the past, and he warned that the wave was not coming.
Interesting.
Yeah, he said this is going to be razor thin. So I give credit to him. He actually said that this tsunami is not reality. And I'm going to say, I'm not saying you did that, Amber, but I'm going to say that possibly for Chris, I think sometimes we forget the documentary Social Dilemma. And the same place that the flat Earth came back from, the red tsunami comes from some of that same stuff. You get trapped in that algorithm, and they know that you're a staunch Republican, and they feed. All they do is feed you, and you can't believe that it wasn't a red wave because everything you're seeing said it was going to be. But see, you never heard from Hannity who said it wasn't going to be because that wasn't. You didn't love that in your algorithm. That would have made you sad. So they don't put that in there, and they're ultimately just trying to sell ads, but they're taking your mind and they're programming you into a world that isn't real.
Right. And it wasn't a red tsunami. I think it was a B plus because I think there was a lot of gains. We could take the House, and we still could have the majority in the Senate if these last few go our way. It's just closer to your point. I do think the frustration from the caller, and I can hear it in his voice, is we all know about the last election, and it didn't smell good, and we knew something was going on, and there was frustration there. And then you have election day, and then all of a sudden, around 11 a.m., we're running out of paper ballots in Pennsylvania. We got polls saying that it's not reading my ballot in Arizona.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
Yes.
And in Florida, they have 7.5 million voters, and within 5 hours, they knew who won. Okay, they had polling police. You had to show the voter ID. They checked on the mail-in ballots. They're doing it right. Why can't other states?
Well, some don't want to, and that is true. We'll be right back. Rick and Bubba. If you need a new sofa or chair and you want to update your living space, look no further than Allform. We have an Allform sofa, and folks, the Allform sofa pieces are made in America. They're easy to assemble, and they're scratch and stain resistant. They come in a wide variety of shapes and configurations, and they ship right to your front door with a 100-day risk-free trial. If you don't love it, they'll pick it up for free and give you a full refund. Allform is offering 20% off all orders if you go to allform.com/Bubba. That's allform.com/Bubba for 20% off, or rickandbubba.com for a link. From cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us all where it hurts. That's why we use Upside to earn cash back on every purchase. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out, which we all do. Download the free Upside app and use promo code BUBBA25 to get 25 cents or more back on every gallon of your first tank of gas. That's 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first tank of gas using the promo code BUBBA25. And find a link at rickandbubba.com under the sponsors.
Simply Safe was named the best home security of 2022 by U.S. News & World Report. But we don't do what we do for the accolades. We do it to protect you and everything you love. Our advanced sensors and HD cameras are powered by 24/7 professional monitoring for faster police response. Visit simplysafe.com/holiday to get 40% off any new system today. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Gain presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain Scent Beads for an even longer-lasting scent.
Why wait to save? Dell Technologies Black Friday event arrives early with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 48% off performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Today on Hey Culligan, soft water, cleaner environment. What do you say, Greg?
Hey Culligan, are you saying if I have a Culligan high-efficiency water softener, I'm also helping the environment?
It sounds like you're saying it, Greg, and yes you are, because with the Culligan high-efficiency water softener, you'll use less detergent, soap, and harsh chemicals, and that's good for the planet.
Now you're saying it.
You bet I am, Greg. Soft water and a cleaner environment is already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medishare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Medishare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Yellowstone, television's #1 show, returns on Paramount Network.
I, John Dudley, do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the state of Montana against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Featuring an all-star cast led by Academy Award winner Kevin Costner.
The invasion is over. They will fight you dirty.
Is there any other way?
As the Dutton family fights to protect their legacy, they'll learn power has a price.
Signing this is a declaration of war. We're already at war.
Yellowstone returns Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern for an epic 2-hour premiere event exclusively on Paramount Network.
All right, folks, you've heard us talking about what Relief Factor can do for your pain for several years now. If you struggle with occasional aches and pains due to aging, exercise, everyday living, consider this. Relief Factor is 100% drug-free. It's made up of ingredients that simply help your own body deal with its natural inflammatory response. And we kid you not, Relief Factor is for real. And the majority of people who order the 3-week quick start for just $19.95 go on to order more. Try it at relieffactor.com or rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. 21 minutes past the hour. The Rick and Bubba Show, 866-WE-BE-BIG is our number. Thanks for being with us. Rick and Bubba University, the podcast, coming out again this weekend. We'll interview Jeff Pearlman, the last folk hero. The Life and Myth of Bo Jackson is the book, New York Times best-selling author. Actually, I was interviewed on page 60 about playing against Bodacious a little bit in high school. This is a really, really in-depth book on the myth and the legend of Bo, the world's greatest athlete. All right, so that'll be coming up. Enjoy that over the weekend. So I know that we have one final video with Trump, and then we'll shift gears in a minute. You're not going to believe it. But this, if you want to know kind of where it is when you're dealing with the monolith that is Trump, this video will pretty much sum up this is what he said before the midterms.
You've endorsed more than 330 candidates this election cycle. Tonight, win or lose, the results for Republicans, how much of that will be because of Donald Trump?
Well, I think if they win, I should get all the credit, and if they lose, I should not be blamed at all. But it'll probably be just the opposite. When they win, I think they're going to do very well. I'll probably be given very little credit, even though in many cases I told people to run. And they ran, and they turned out to be very good candidates. You know, they turned out to be very good candidates. But usually what would happen is when they do well, I won't be given any credit. And if they do badly, they will blame everything on me. So I'm prepared for anything, but we'll defend ourselves.
There you go. So I believe he was right.
I think he was a little tongue-in-cheek.
He was, but I thought he was accurate.
Yeah, he was accurate.
But one thing I'll say, and we'll move on, and Greg, you said it was true. But I hope that he's wise enough not to take the bait. Now, you said two. I know we all saw one. They're trying to get him to get in a battle with DeSantis. And I'm not talking, it's either the never-Trumpers and the Democrats. And it's kind of like when Greg was little and he had a little temper. I knew that it didn't take much to work him into a frenzy. They're trying to get Trump to take the bait that DeSantis is dogging him, so he will then rip DeSantis and splinter the party. And I hope that Trump does not take that bait. Now, he's nibbled at it. With Ron Sanctimonious, you said there was another one.
Yeah, there was another one.
But he's nibbled at the bait. Now, he hasn't taken and run with it where you set the hook. But I hope he doesn't fall victim to that trap, that he's wiser than that. I'm not sure.
And DeSantis doesn't need to attack him.
No, absolutely not. And I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see that at all. As a matter of fact, he'll be right opposite.
There's no win for the GOP by a candidate upsetting the state of Florida and turning the state of Florida against the candidate. Yeah. That's not a win. So anyway, hopefully that won't happen, but that's certainly been the case. So, Bubba, tell me what you just told me, because I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Well, I was going to mention it to y'all earlier, and I picked up a motorcycle the other day. I tell you, I didn't mention that.
You
Until I
said
was looking at
that
one.
motorcycle.
As a matter of fact,
I think motorcycle.
I went out and was doing a little riding yesterday, and Betty shot some video.
So you've already been on this?
Yeah, I've been out there riding.
How about them fans?
So good, Bubba.
Oh, yeah, little dirt bike, little dirt bike. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Big air.
Bubba, I had no idea you were that accomplished. Oh, you're really,
I really took to it.
All right, we got somebody on a motorcycle that looks just like Bubba. Big guy, no shirt, crack showing, and he is cutting it up on a
And how about
motorcycle.
this? He's really good on motorcycle.
Yeah, he really is.
He
Yeah.
can ride.
Yeah.
Wow. There's our green field we've been working on.
That's Bubba's new place.
That's my favorite. He got big air. He really is good on it. I mean,
Bubba, new property. Bubba, you really
those shocks got all they take.
I don't know how that bike stayed together when he got big air there.
Wow, Bubba. Bubba, let me tell you, you really accomplished. How about that crack shot right there?
Oh, my goodness. How does it not fall apart right now?
I know. Just break into pieces.
You really took to that. You really took to that.
That is fantastic.
That's so good.
Thank you, buddy.
Like I said,
Squeezing out of a tube of toothpaste.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so
that's really good.
Also, Adler, the picture that I sent you.
Just go to the office and download the video.
Yeah, it's right there. Watch the archive of the YouTube if you didn't get a chance to see that today.
Oh boy.
So anyway, the legend of this story we've talked about on the show. We talked about the Little League.
There it is.
We talked about Little League, and let me set it up. So when we played Little League, it was a whole different deal. These coaches you'll see in the picture will also take care of that. It was just a different culture, a different time, and they always, where we played, we didn't wear the major league stuff or any of that. We just wore the sponsor of the person who wrote the check for the uniform. Well, unfortunately for Greg and I,
We weren't the Braves.
no, there was the year that we were sponsored, and I'm not making this up, by Miller Funeral Home.
Which is still in business, a staple in Oxford.
Still in business today. But unfortunately, when you would get your sponsor, let's say you were Oxford Standard, the Standard Oil gas station, your hat would have OS on it, and then would have Oxford Standard on your jersey and a color. Well, unfortunately, our shirt, as you'll see here in a minute, my mom sent us the picture. We have it. It says Miller Funeral Home. Well, our hats have MF on it. And
look at the age we are.
Please look, Bubba. Please look.
You got that on your hats that age. There's Big Rick. There's Big Rick. There he is.
There he is. I want you to also, even though that's a little blurry, but I want you to also look right here. Look at those coaches. I mean, you think those guys college? Who are these coaches? All right, so that's all.
Pete Adams.
Pete Adams.
Billy Joe Adams.
Billy Joe Adams.
Is that Donnie's brother?
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Dennis.
Dennis, is that it?
There's Donnie on the end.
I don't know why Wayne Lee decided to move over and give us a gap there in
For some reason
on the back row. That's Wayne Lee, by the way, Bo.
We're right there.
No, another guy, right beside me, leaning in. Yeah, so
for some reason Ricky and I are rocking turtlenecks.
I don't know why. It must have been cold that day.
Little man was
The
cold.
two of the coaches have jackets on, so it must be a chilly.
Is that Greg right there?
Yeah, that's Greg.
Accurate hat.
Yeah. Now I want you to imagine walking.
Bud Jay's to the left.
Yeah, I want you to imagine.
Well, my right.
I want you to imagine walking around. Donnie Adams on the back row, by the way. Far left, top row. Back row, far left.
Nice curl.
Yeah. So I want you to imagine walking around as the little guys, because we were this was Mustang, so we were probably
9 and 10.
Walking around the ballpark and all the older kids seeing you with MF on your hat.
How you think that went?
How you think that went?
I will say this, and this is not a lie. Rick moved up next year to the next league. I also had one more year at this league, and they just had an M on it.
Yeah, it was so bad they took it off the next season.
Somebody finally said, "Hey guys."
Everybody else had to do
Everybody
that.
else.
So y'all heard us talk about that, and there's the picture to prove it really happened. Mom sent that to Greg and me yesterday.
That's hilarious.
Right. So there it is.
Great Oxford Lake.
Yep. Yep. That was when I thought that all Little League coaches smelled like beer and tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
hey, they didn't coddle you. I'll tell you.
There was no coddling. Bottom of the hour. We'll be right back. Rick and Bubba. Rick and Bubba. If you've thought about protecting your home with security, but you've been waiting for the right time, you want to listen up. Right now, listeners of this show can get 40% off Simply Safe's award-winning home security system. Now, we use and trust Simply Safe to protect our home and family because at Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. When a threat is detected, Simply Safe's monitoring professionals promptly contact you and dispatch first responders to your home, even if you're away or you're unable to respond. 24/7 professional monitoring costs under $1 a day. That's less than half the cost of ADT's traditional professional installed plans. Simply Safe blankets your home in protection with advanced sensors for every room, window, and door. Don't miss this chance to save big when you protect your home with the best. Get 40% off your order when you visit simplysafebubba.com. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes. That's simplysafebubba.com or visit rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. There's no safe like Simply Safe. There's nothing worse than the mall in the months leading up to the holidays. You got children screaming and take forever to find parking. The list goes on and on. Now, right now, you can shop early, skip the stress, and snag some of the best deals of the season on something everyone will love. Premium audio products from Raycon. Raycon's wireless earbuds, headphones, and speakers offer premium sound, useful features, and almost custom, comfortable fit, and up to 54 hours of battery life. And they start at half the price of other premium audio brands. Plus, Raycon makes gifting easy with holiday gift guides for everyone in your life. Or knock that list out all at once and get 30% off by shopping Raycon's holiday bundles. Just go to buyraycon.com/Bubba and use the code EARLYYBL to get 20% off site-wide. That's 20% off and save even bigger and get 30% off Raycon's exclusive holiday bundles. That's code EARLYYBF at buyraycon.com/Bubba or rickandbubba.com. If you've been listening to our show for a while, you've heard us talk about the Helix mattresses that we love. Well, Helix has moved from the bedroom to the living room with all-form sofas. All the all-form sofa pieces are made in America, easy to assemble, and scratch and stain resistant. Great for anyone with kids or pets. They come in a wide variety of shapes and configurations, which is the easiest way to customize a sofa using premium materials at a fraction of the cost of the traditional stores. And just like the Helix mattress, all-form sofas are shipped right to your front door with a 100-day risk-free trial. If you don't love it, they'll pick it up for free and you'll get a full refund. Let me tell you, we've had one at our house, and they're so easy to put together. They look great. So what are you waiting for? If you need a new chair or a new sofa, plus they offer a lifetime warranty option, here's the best part. Allform is offering 20% off all orders for our listeners. Get 20% off at allform.com/Bubba. That's allform.com/Bubba for 20% off. Our friends at TheraBreath have some good news if you have bad breath. Try TheraBreath Fresh Breath Oral Rinse. TheraBreath is dentist formulated by Dr. Katz himself. TheraBreath doesn't mask bad breath like those burning alcohol mouthwashes that can actually irritate sensitive mouths. It's alcohol-free and free of gluten with no added dyes or colors. Find TheraBreath in all your favorite retail and drug stores. Look for the bright orange cap or online at TheraBreath.com. You can find a direct link at rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. TheraBreath, confidence in every capful. Attention, all you coffee drinkers. There's a brand new brew that you definitely want to make part of your daily ritual. If you enjoy delicious, good coffee like us, My Coffee needs to be your new drink. It's organic, which is so important because if not, then it contains chemicals banned in this country decades ago. You've heard us talk about MyPillow for years on this show, and now they've got My Coffee direct from the mystore.com website. Go to mystore.com, enter the code BUBBA to save 25% off your order of My Coffee, or find a link at rickandbubba.com. Folks, we've been talking about Relief Factor on our show for quite some time now. Do we guarantee Relief Factor is going to lower or eliminate your occasional aches and pains? No, we never make a claim like that. But what I can tell you is that the majority of folks who order the 3-week Quick Start Pack for only $19.95 go on to order more. Now, what we really like about Relief Factor is it's 100% drug-free. It's a supplement that's made up of ingredients that simply help your own body deal with its natural inflammatory response. For a lot of us, that's very important. Getting older, working outside in the warm weather, even exercising can cause frustrating aches and pains, or maybe it's the occasional back, shoulder, or hip pain that's bothering you. Relief Factor has helped us and so many of our friends. So when you think of it this way, is $1 a day too much to see if you can get out of some of that frustrating pain? To order this 3-week Quick Start Pack for $19.95 plus shipping and handling, just go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. Let's see if we can get you out of some of that pain. Also, you can go to rickandbubba.com. Look under the sponsors button for a link.
This is Jack Nichols. Guess what? You're listening to the two sexiest fat men in radio, Rick and Bubba. I myself call them Richard and Bubsy, but that's another story.
It is 35 minutes now past the hour. Rick and Bubba's show. Do want to point to mypillow.com/Bubba. Let the savings begin. So right now, the economy, inflation, yeah, I know. So wouldn't it be nice if something actually costs less than it did not too long ago? Well, mypillow.com/Bubba said we got it. Go there right now, use that URL, and you'll see all these different specials that are available to you. And we're talking the kind of savings that should get you, your attention, should get your attention. Look at this, 50% off all of their hotel quality 6-piece towel sets, 50% off. My slippers are just $49.98. How about this? The sleepwear and loungewear, both men's and women's, 80% off. Giza Dream bed sheets now as low as $39.98. The Purcell sheet sets are as low as $29.98. And you also can look at some other savings there. Look at $19.98 for the My sandals. Boy, the savings are really where you want them to be. So, unlike everywhere else you're going, if you go to mypillow.com/Bubba right now, these items actually cost less than they did. And boy, you can stock up with some great gifts too for the upcoming Christmas season. So do that at mypillow.com/Bubba. All right, I know we've got some Elon, right? Do we have Elon?
Yep.
Elon. There's that Elon thing. Elon. Why's that not in there? Does not have that.
Where'd she go?
Right, there we go.
Here comes the money.
There we go. Where's old Elon's update music? Go. Dollar, that's what I say. Bling, 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 bling. Cut the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Money got me crazy. So what's Elon up to?
Well, a lot going on with Elon and the Twitter takeover. Twitter's new owner told advertisers on Wednesday they had a big conference call.
Oh, did they?
He aimed to turn the social media platform into a force for truth and stop fake accounts in an effort to ensure brands and advertising agencies that they have increasingly been backing away from the platform. In other words, he's had 2 or 3 big ones cancel on it.
Yeah.
And he said, look, guys, this is not going to turn into a free-for-all. We're just going to be fair and accurate in this.
Right.
And, I would say if I was an advertiser, I would appreciate the fact he's trying to ferret out fake accounts. Because I'm basically paying for people to see my ads that don't even exist.
Right.
And we run into that in the advertising business a lot. There's been a big kind of flow over to some of these social media platforms because they give them some information they like about who's seeing their stuff. Well, they just assume that information is correct, but those are real people.
Right.
And they're not, always. And Elon is trying to clean that up a little bit, so I applaud that.
Yeah, I think if I'm an advertiser, and I think a good way to put it is, I appreciate that you are trying to say that the numbers I'm looking at have integrity. That they're real numbers.
Musk, who is also the world's richest man, spoke calmly about his vision for Twitter, touting an $8 charge for premium subscriptions as a bot remedy, and musing about the possibility of someday offering money market accounts.
Here comes the money.
That's a whole nother deal. I don't know about all that.
Yeah, right.
In the week since Musk took over, GM, General Mills, and several other large companies have pulled ads off Twitter, concerned that Musk could loosen content moderation rules. Major brands including Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, General Motors, and Ford Motor Company monitored Musk's talk on Wednesday. So people are wanting to see what he's going to do. I get on Twitter some, not a lot, but I don't see any big difference in it right now. And if he wants to charge $8 for the premium account, which, they were saying he's offering for the blue check, there's a lot else goes with that. But it does cut down on robots from going in there and just making endless accounts like the Russians like to do and all that. That's how they meddle in our elections, is they influence social media because they could easily do it. That cuts out that. That's a gatekeeper for that stuff.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm not on it very much at all.
I don't have a blue check, don't need one.
Yeah, I don't even know what that even, what's the difference in being blue check and not blue check.
It's
I really
just
don't even
people
know.
who are really into it or into the blue check.
But what does it give me?
It's verified.
Verifiable. It verifies that you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, like I say, I use it pretty much one way. I learned in the very beginning it's not the place to have debate. So I mainly use it to get information out about things I want those people to consider or to know. But all I've really noticed, and I'm not saying this just to try to make a joke, really true. The only thing I've noticed is that people that were banned are now back. That's really all I can see. And I guess as an advertiser, and I understand why, because basically the advertisers have shown, and this has been unfortunate, that if you make enough noise and scare them, they'll do whatever you want them to do. But I do find it odd, and that there would be these companies that had no problem whatsoever, and Twitter banning people from being able to express themselves, and now they're worried about people being able to express themselves on all political fronts and all different whatever. Why were you not mad? It didn't bother you that you were advertising in a place that would decide who got to see your ad and who didn't? That didn't bother you? You know, but now it bothers you that everybody can see it. Somebody help me with that. That, like I said, I've lost respect for a lot of these companies too. I'm gonna tell you with them, you know, what they basically said is we're gonna go woke. It's a lot of it's incredibly insincere, but we're just trying to pay off the mob. And we know that most of y'all, and it's true, I'm as guilty of as anybody, those of you that couldn't care less about this, you're going to shop with us anyway. We're just appeasing them so they'll leave us alone. You know, what's sad is how many of you out there, if you knew what these companies really say about you when they can get off by themselves and they don't think you can hear them, all they're doing is patronizing you and appeasing you. There's no true commitment to these so-called movements. It's just not true.
Something that Musk tweeted out was, since I've taken over, we've had lots of sponsors drop and stop their advertising campaigns, and so we're losing money. And a lot of people on the left responded, that's not how it happens. That doesn't happen. We've seen that happen.
Of course
We've seen that happen to us. There's this group called Media Matters for America. They're a nonprofit organization